Panther people, what up? Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers search for their next head coach, and I think something fishy's going on. Going on to watch Panthers post to Phil Perkins. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you've been here for a while, or if you just got here today, take a look at the merch beneath the video here. Completely independently designed by my bro, inspired by American traditional tattoos, and of course, the Carolina Panthers. And on the back, it's my kid. Super cute. Kind of looks like Christian McCaffrey, which might hurt the feelings a little bit if you take a look at him dominating right now. All right, so let's get right to it. I have a lot of quarterback and other positional player draft profiles. I'm going to push those back a little bit as I realized we still even have a head coach. And depending on who the head coach is, that'll determine their trajectory heading into the draft. But you want to stay tuned for those draft profiles. Damian Parson from the Draft Network breaks it down perfectly. If you're not exactly a college football fan, he lets you know why these quarterbacks and other positional players will be perfect for the Panthers, or maybe just not a good fit. But in the meantime, let's talk about this head coaching search for the Panthers. Unfortunately, it's taken a turn for the tragic. Right now, the Carolina Panthers search for their head coach has been postponed after the untimely, unfortunate, the tragic death of 25-year-old Charlotte FC player Anton Walkes. If you know me and you follow this channel, you also know I'm a Tottenham Hotspur supporter. He came through the academy there and then eventually found himself with Charlotte FC in their inaugural season. He died in a boating accident. So David Tepper, who obviously owns the Carolina Panthers and Charlotte FC, took the time to go to the funeral, to attend there, to be there with this team, and say what you want about David Tepper, and if you want, Nicole Tepper and how they've been handling, ownership of this Panther team since 2019. Ups and downs. Lately, been a lot of downs, but that is a classy move by his part. You could imagine the uproar of anger people would have if he didn't go to the funeral or just sent, a tweet or a video statement while in New York with Sean Payton in the back chomping on some, ribeye or something like that. So good move on his part. Life is more important than football. There's a lot more important things out there. So for them to do that, and again, I'm not paid by the Panthers, classy move by his part. It's, it is a must move. If he did anything else, it'd be horrible. Not a human thing to do. So the Carolina Panthers pushing back their head coaching meetings till next week. And let's talk about those meetings. So everything now has been pushed back to deal with the tragic situation with Charlotte FC and Anton Walkes. So Sean Payton's interview with the Carolina Panthers will now be Monday, January 23rd. Something stinky is going on. So late last night, Jonathan Jones, who is a former Carolina Panthers beat reporter on the Charlotte Observer, now works at CBS. He's their main insider right now on the networks and all that jazz. Said that according to sources, the Carolina Panthers have violated the inclusivity rules. That's kind of part of the Rooney Rule and all that stuff in terms of their head coaching search. In particular, one Nicole Tepper, who is the wife of David Tepper, reportedly, allegedly, did not complete her inclusivity/diversity training, which is mandatory to be a part of the selection committee for the new head coach. So they didn't talk about any penalties or anything like that. They had to apparently stop what they were doing. The Panthers reportedly told Joe Person, who covers the Panthers for The Athletic, that Nicole Tepper had been taught this. And so it was just kind of all up in the air. This is kind of uncharted territory. We do know diversity inclusion is a big deal for a lot of NFL teams, supposedly, and the NFL, supposedly. So it was just another seemingly black eye for the team, for ownership, just kind of the last list of things, controversies, if you want to call it, from Rock Hill to the turf to a bunch of other stuff that David Tepper has kind of been involved in this way, Nicole Tepper as well, who, mind you, when Scott Fitter mentioned at the end of year meeting that she will be a big part of the search, there were some people out there not too keen on that. To me, she's one of the owners. The Pagulas, there was a husband and wife couple. They own the Buffalo Bills. They are both very involved in the team, so it kind of makes sense. But it's just a bummer that she was singled out. They didn't say, one of the people in the selection committee did not complete their inclusivity training. They named her. Nicole Tepper didn't do it. So that's unfortunate. Of course, people took advantage of that. But now today, we've been told now that, according to Joe Person, that she has indeed finished her inclusivity training and they can continue doing what they're doing next week, of course, after the situation with Charlotte FC. Now, this is unprecedented. We hadn't seen something like this before. We didn't know if there was going to be any issues with it. They had to put everything on pause, it seems. But it's just weird to me because leading up to this, we were getting all these leaks that Sean Payton met with the Denver Broncos and he loves the situation. He loves the owners. They are the richest owners in the NFL. David Tepper and Nicole Tepper are second. And then they can give him whatever he wants, just like Tepper can. They have a quote unquote great defense. Patrick Surtain, nice young corner, a couple other pieces on that defense. And of course, they have Russell Wilson, who reportedly reached out to Sean Payton personally or through his representation to say that I need you. I need you to help revive my career because I was horror awful last year. He was dangerous to watch. Like, it was bad. And so, which made me wonder, did Russ or any of his team have inclusivity training to be a part of the selection committee? Is that allowed? But either way, all these things trickling out. And, this is all literally the day before the scheduled meeting between the Carolina Panthers and Sean Payton. And then we get last night, literally like within hours, like 7 hours, I'm assuming, before the meeting actually took place in Manhattan, we get this story that the Carolina Panthers are in violation, not capital, like small v violations. It's not a big deal. They're not tampering. They're not bounty gating or anything like that. I just said that because I'm talking about Sean Payton. It's not deflate gate. It's just someone snitched on the Panthers to the league, who found out right before their meeting with Sean Payton, and then in a horrible turn of events, they then had to skip that anyways because of the death of one of their players. But whoever's doing this, the Denver Broncos, I think they're trying to prolong the process, keep the good vibes from that meeting between them and Sean Payton together in his head, ruminating as he sits there, waiting until Monday now. He's going to be, all day Saturday watching games, all day Sunday watching games, getting that itch to coach again. And the last team that he just talked to were the Denver Broncos. And they're the ones going to say, we're going to pay you $25, $30 million a year. Forget about Dave Tepper. They're doing their thing. Hey, they don't even follow the rules. You know what I mean? And so I wouldn't be surprised. It's a slimy business. And, it's kind of like in NASCAR. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the Denver Broncos or somebody snitched on the Panthers to get to this situation. It doesn't matter anyways. In the end of the day, there are bigger things that happen. But the Broncos, man, you already got the Super Bowl 50. Like, just relax. Joe Person had an article in The Athletic. Now, according to other sources, I think it was Benjamin Albright, who covers the Denver Broncos, said that Mickey Loomis, who's the general manager from the New Orleans Saints, said that there is a division tax, a Carolina Panther tax, if you were to trade for the services of Sean Payton. Everybody else, according to Sean Payton himself, who's in an unprecedented position where he is literally on a sports network in Fox, on Colin Cowherd's show, talking about, that he's open for business and what it might take to get him. He said a mid to late first round pick, but then Mickey Loomis saying reportedly that it's 2 first round picks, and that's just for you, Carolina Panthers, because I'm not going to let you guys pick a quarterback at number 9 or trade up to get number 9 and take my coach and run the South. So that's the price it could be, according to the New Orleans Saints themselves, according to Joe Person. Unless Sean Payton maybe talks to his buddy Mickey Loomis and says, hey man, I really want to work with this team. This is the best team available right now. According to many NFL executives, the Carolina Panthers team, their situation is the best. Not only the crappy division, but the great defense, the budding defense, offensive pieces, and an owner that wants to win and will be desperate to win and will pay you. Maybe he tells Loomis, hey, maybe you should take the other deals, treat them all equally. But according to Joe Person, if that is the case, if that happens, he thinks the Panthers will trade next year's first round pick. So that could fall anywhere depending on how they do in the upcoming year. And a third rounder this year, or maybe I think it was a second rounder. Would you do that trade, next year's first, and one of the second round picks that we got from San Francisco for trading CMC, still leaving the Carolina Panthers enough ammo to trade up to get a rookie quarterback? CJ Stroud seems to be leading the way right now in a lot of mock drafts, including Daniel Jeremiah, who it's not that what he would do himself, is what he thinks will happen. That's his philosophy with these mock drafts. The coaches the Panthers actually did speak with so far, and these are guys in the books. They heard their plan. Obviously, there's Steve Wilkes, who is still in the mix. People kind of forget that he's still around because we had that wave of Jim Harbaugh rumors, and now we got Sean Payton. So we got Steve Wilkes, who's still in the mix, all right? And to many, I think if all these coaching decisions and coaching interviews are pushed back too far, he might be the guy by default. They already spoke with Frank Reich, first quarterback for the Carolina Panthers ever. It looks like he wants to still be a head coach. Would he want to team up with Steve Wilkes as an offensive coordinator? He's living in Carolina right now. Why not? They spoke with Shane Steichen, who is the Eagles' offensive coordinator. Of course, we know Ben Johnson pulled out, returning to Detroit with a higher salary to remain as their offensive coordinator. So, he is just not taking any meetings right now. It's not a shot at the Carolina Panthers. Then they also spoke with Jim Caldwell, who had time with the Lions, took them to the playoffs, and also with the Colts as well. He's an offensive mind. Jared Mayo, who's a defensive linebackers coach with the New England Patriots, pull out because the Patriots wanted to retain him. Because as you're probably seeing in the NFL right now, teams are firing offensive and defensive coordinators left, right, and center. So any of these guys, like Jared Mayo, who is a linebackers coach, could easily get a promotion at another team and get a defensive coordinator job elsewhere. I think the New England Patriots were kind of reading the tea leaves and told him to come back to Foxborough and stick with them. Ben Johnson, same situation. And a silver lining in all that, Ben Johnson staying in Detroit, saying that he thinks they're building something special. That doesn't sound like a team that's going to be drafting a quarterback at number 5, which I believe they're at right now. They're going to be sticking with Jared Goff. I don't think there's a point for them to add a rookie that's not going to be playing next year if they trust Goff. So maybe they're just going to be adding on the defensive line, maybe another skill position player. They think they could really make a run in the NFC North, especially if Aaron Rodgers leaves. Most likely, to me, I think it's going to be Tennessee or New York. So that's this episode of Panthers Post. Make sure to tune in for my YouTube shorts if breaking news happens, like last night when the Panthers were reportedly in violation of that head coaching inclusivity rule. Keep track on those. I'll keep you up to date when things break, and then maybe do more longer form things like I'm doing now. And of course, once they do hire a head coach, I'll be going live 100% on YouTube. Make sure to tune into that. Make sure to super like, subscribe, all that jazz. Buy stickers. I don't know what it is. Buy a shirt. It's the off season. Let's just all support each other. And again, once it gets a bit closer to draft season, I will have those draft profiles out there for you guys. See you soon.